listen to their own music via an MP3 player. It blanks out the noise of the drill, but it still leaves the person in the chair able to hear the dentist's voice.
Well, the noise of the dentist's drill is really a terrible noise, which we don't like as dentists, but also patients find it very off-putting. And for some patients, it actually stops them going to the dentist to see very much needed health care. Our microphones picks up the sound from the dentist's drill as it's actually taking place in the patient's mouth. The computer chip very quickly works out what the signal is, identifies the sound of the drill and cancels that out using a filtration system. It also uses anti-noise to reverse the sound signal to effectively cancel out just the drill noise but not any other sound, and then feed it back very quickly through the patient's own speakers from their MP3 player, so they don't hear the sound of the drill but they hear all the other sounds.
Professor Brian Miller there, one of the people in charge of that. Good news for us all, one hopes. Much more coming up shortly in the 1 o'clock news, but let's take a look at the weather prospects. Here's Nina Ridge. Nina.
Hello there. For many of us, it's been a wet start to the week. And as we go through the rest of the afternoon, not a huge amount of change. Still plenty of rain to talk about and a bit of a breeze out there as well. In fact, if we have a look at the satellite picture, you can see the mass of cloud across the United Kingdom. Most of the rain has been to the north and the west, not quite so much across that southeast corner. That will arrive later on in the day. And in fact, we have got Met Office severe weather warnings in force through the afternoon across Devon and Cornwall because of the torrential rain. Some difficult driving conditions with all the surface water and spray. Some fairly torrential rain still to come across parts of South Wales. For Northern Ireland, it's rather grey and it's overcast, but the rain should generally be on the light side. We'll see a top temperature in Belfast at 6 degrees. For Scotland, temperatures still sitting just above freezing, so we will see some snow here for a time, mostly across the hill. At lower levels, we're still talking about mainly rain. Some patchy rain to come across northern counties of England, and still some glimmers of brightness through that southeast corner. It will tend to cloud over through the afternoon. Southerly winds, which will be quite strong, lifting temperatures in London up to around 8 degrees. As we go through this evening and overnight tonight, then all of that cloud and rain marches steadily north and eastwards again. We're talking about some hill snow across parts of Scotland. It should slowly ease as we head towards dawn, but temperatures will dip fairly close to freezing across Scotland and Northern Ireland. So where we've had all that moisture on the ground, temperatures then tumble. We've got another Met Office warning, this time and it's an early warning because of some very difficult conditions with icy roads. Ice forming quite rapidly through the night and first thing on Tuesday morning. It will improve quite nicely with some sunshine breaking out across Scotland and Northern Ireland. For England and Wales, there'll be some brightness through the afternoon, a little bit dull and damp at first along that east coast, but the rain then clearing away, and here we'll see highs of 7 or 8 degrees. I think for Scotland, some of that cold air holding on at 3 or 4 Celsius, but we are pushing it out of the way. The rest of the week sees Atlantic winds finally making a return with their weather fronts, but bringing much milder air to all of us. So we will see some clouds and rain around at times on Wednesday, especially in the south, in the north, a slice of drier and brighter weather through central areas. But as for those temperatures, we could see highs of 11 or 12 degrees. So the rest of the week is looking a much milder picture, but there will be some cloud and rain to go with it. Bye for now.
Parking and barking.
And bus lanes in Ealing.
Cab fares and phone scares to the city glass ceiling.
Bin bags in Belfast.
And roads in Dungannon.
House prices, rate rises.
Local damn planning.
Places in Stirling.
And vices and Mull.
Fox hunting, fly tipping.
Grey squirrel cull.
Jobs in the valleys.
Tourists in rail. Hospital queues.
And the price of a fill.
Banklands in Leicester.
And prisons in Preston.
Erosion in Poole. The West Lothian question. Tussles in Brussels. And planning permissions. Funding for London.
And farming and fishing.
Whatever issues you care about.
Wherever you are, we've got them covered.
The Politics Show with me, John Sopel, Sundays at midday on BBC One.
Are you guys telling me you've never told a little white lie to get a bit of action?
Just because other people don't do what we do doesn't mean it's wrong. Scandal.
It is good to be back.
Hustle continues Friday at 9 on BBC One. Catch up on BBC iPlayer.
22-year-old man's due in court in the US after a gun rampage which left 6 people dead and a politician critically injured. Police in Arizona have praised the courage of witnesses who've told how they tackled the gunman to stop him from killing any more.
Somebody said, "Get the gun," so I jumped up and was now kneeling over him, and the gun was in his right hand. He was secured with his right side against the sidewalk.
Letting the banks off the hook, the Labour leader Ed Miliband says the government should not cut taxes on bonus pay.
David Cameron is squeezing the living standards of ordinary families. He wants to make it easier to sack workers, and he's letting the banks off the hook.
The trial of 6 environmentalists collapses after an undercover police officer offers to give evidence on their behalf. And could this goal from a part-time footballer be the goal of the year?
And coming up in the sport, Beckham's back in Britain. The former England captain has been at Tottenham's training ground today, but it's still not clear what role he'll have with the club.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the BBC News at 1. A 22-year-old man, Jared Loughner, charged with the attempted murder of the Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, is due in court in the United States today. 6 people were killed and 14 others wounded in the attack in Tucson, which has left Gabrielle Giffords critically ill in hospital. The local sheriff has praised the courage of a woman who grabbed the gunman's ammunition to prevent him reloading, and 2 other bystanders who tackled the gunman to the ground. Daniel Betcher reports.
Outside the office of Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, a community trying to understand, laying flowers, leaving messages, thoughts for the Congresswoman targeted in the shooting. She is still in a medically induced coma, and tributes to the 6 people who were killed. As police continue their investigation, it has emerged that the loss of life could have been even greater had members of the public not intervened.
He was pulling a magazine.
Patricia Maish was waiting in line to have her picture taken with Congresswoman Giffords. She helped stop the gunman from reloading his weapon.
Somebody said, "Grab the magazine," so he got it out of his pocket and it ended up on the sidewalk right by his hand, but I was able to grab it before he did and get the magazine.
The pause in shooting allowed 2 others to restrain the gunman. A 3rd bystander helped pin him down.
I put my legs on behind his knees and my arm on the back of his small of his back, and the other guy was stepping on his neck, and then people had his neck, like he wasn't moving.